Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Covering the Bag podcast, where we talk about all things baseball. I'm Marc.
And I'm Max.
And this week we're going to be talking about the 2022 MLB Awards. The award season just ended and all the awards have been handed out, so we're going to talk about whether we think they went to the right people and what we think of the people who got them. So why don't we just start with the biggest name ones, the MVP. In the American League this year, the MVP went to Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees. Now, the big debate all year here was should it have been him or Shohei Ohtani, because Shohei had a great year both at the bat and pitching. I think he got hurt a little bit by he didn't have as good a year as last year hitting, but he actually had a better year pitching. But the question always is, how do you judge him against other people, because nobody else does what he does, the hits and pitches. So what do you think?
That is true. I think Judge should have had a good year, but the thing is, I wanted the MVP to be someone else except both of them, because, Aaron Judge already got a lot of notice. He got on the cover of MLB The Show in 2018. I'm just the thing is, I'm thinking about MLB The Show, what are we going to do? We can't put Judge on there. He's already been on there.
That's a good
point. We can't
point.
put Shohei on there. He's already been on there.
That's a good point.
We could, maybe, but I don't think we could do that. I definitely do like Judge as one of the top, but the thing is, I think they could have gone with someone else here, I don't know, another.
Well, let's take a look at the full voting results for the American League. So Judge was first, Ohtani second, Yordan third, Yordan Alvarez of the Astros, Jose Ramirez fourth, Altuve fifth, Jimenez from Cleveland sixth, Rodriguez, Julio, who was the Rookie of the Year, seventh, Mike Trout eighth, Xander Bogaerts ninth, and Verlander 10th. So I think most of those guys did not deserve to be number one.
Yeah, none of them, half of them didn't even. Xander, nah. I don't think Trout did either.
No.
He's just recognized so much as the best player in baseball. He's not that anymore.
Yeah.
I feel strongly about this. People are mad at me for it, and even my dad when I tell him this. But I feel like Mike Trout should not get that much notice. Some people agree with me on this, but I feel like he should not. He's been good players for a year, and I feel like he's one of the best. He could be numbered as a top 15, 10 player of all time, but he's going to be 5 or below, or 5 or up. So, but he's been good, but he's just got too high rated, and some of these guys I don't even know that got it. So Adley Rutschman was a good call. I like him, but he should have been Rookie of the Year, but that was a different person.
Yeah. I think of these guys, the only really other guy you could argue besides Ohtani and Judge is Yordan. Yordan had a pretty amazing year, but he's not as good in the field as Judge was, and just nobody can really match the fact that Judge had 60. Did he end up with 62 home runs? And I think the next person in the majors had something in the 40s, so he just dominated in homers, and that's a big statistic now. So I think he pretty much earned it.
Yeah, he's overrated, and he's not overrated, but people overrate him a lot in home runs. He has had good home runs, but the thing is, what's good to me is that he's always remember this when you're thinking of him. He's one of the tallest players, and he could barely bat, but his strike zone is big, and he can still hit bombs.
Yeah, that's true.
He's reached down on 50% of the homers he's hit. He reached down on them.
Yeah.
Maybe even 70%.
Yeah, he's awesome, and he's so menacing at the plate, and that some of the home runs he hit in the playoffs were just so clutch. But I think we can both fairly safely say that Judge probably deserved this award.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't.
Who would you take over? Would you take Ohtani at this point?
No, I wouldn't take Ohtani.
Yordan.
Probably. Maybe someone on the Astros. I know I don't like the Astros at all. If not someone on the Astros, maybe a good rookie. Because except Judge. Judge was a good pick. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I guess let's go on to...
Okay, so in the NL, the winner was Paul Goldschmidt of St. Louis, first baseman. And here's how the top 10 worked out there. It went Goldschmidt 1, Manny Machado 2, Arenado 3, Freddie Freeman 4, Mookie Betts 5, Austin Riley 6, JT Realmuto 7th, Pete Alonso 8th, Francisco Lindor 9th, and Sandy Alcantara 10th.
You can't lie. This Paul Goldschmidt's fielding and his hitting was just great at the plate. But if I had to go someone else, I would go Freeman or Machado. But He was good. I mean, he had a good season on first base and had like had a lot of votes. He got pretty much, I would say he got overrated in votes, but he is a good first baseman. I like him. If I had to choose an all-star team this year, I would choose him as my first baseman, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Or Vladimir is my next choice as a first baseman.
Yeah, I think in terms of consistency and how good he was all year, Goldschmidt was the best player. The one thing that I feel like with Machado is he kind of carried the Padres more than Goldschmidt carried the Cardinals. Even once the Padres got Soto and Bell, they weren't that great for him, and Machado was still awesome that whole time.
Yeah, because Tatis. And
Tatis was out all year. I think Machado might be a more valuable player just in terms of what he did for his team, but Goldschmidt had the best stats, so I can understand why they picked him.
Yeah, I would have gone with Freeman or Machado. I don't think Nolan Arenado deserves to be as up higher than Freeman. Because Freeman had a better year at the plate. He had more like doubles and stuff like that.
Yeah, Arenado was the best defender of any of these guys. Although Manny's a really good defender too.
Yeah.
But cool. Well, I mean, we understand why Goldschmidt got it, but I think I would have gone with Machado and Max would have gone with Freddie Freeman. So now let's look at the Cy Young Award winners. Let's see. In the American League, Justin Verlander was the winner. Now let's see if we can find the entire voting list.
I don't think I agree with that either. I think it should have been someone like Max Scherzer.
Well, Scherzer's not in the American League. He's in the National League.
Yeah. Okay then. Yeah. But I think, so he's in American League. I think it should have been like, maybe even Ohtani.
Yeah. Well, here's how the top 5 worked out in that. Verlander for Houston was 1. Dylan Cease from White Sox was 2. Alek Manoah from Toronto was 3. Shohei Ohtani 4. And Framber Valdez from Houston 5. With Framber had an amazing year, too.
The thing is, at the start of this year, these players are just straight out random, but they're amazing. So, like, at the start of the year, you can name Justin Verlander, Dylan Cease, Alec Little. You could definitely name Shohei Ohtani. You could not name Framber Valdez, Shane McClanahan, Nestor Cortez, and Kevin well, maybe Kevin Guzman. But, like, if you're any of those teams' fan, then you could name them. But, like, if you are not that team's fan, I couldn't even name half of them. So
I mean, I think Framber got pretty famous this year, but you're right about some of these other guys. They're not that well known.
It's just random, and they spin them in, which is good because they were good. But the thing is, if you were one of their fans, then you would have saw him play way more than other people did.
Yeah, I think Verlander had the best year. His ERA was insane, and he was just so consistent. I think there's an argument for Ohtani here because he pitched so well on a bad team, but I don't know. I mean, I understand why they took Verlander.
Shohei a lot carried the Angels.
Yeah.
Mike Trout barely did anything. His fielding is good, but he barely did anything. He hit a couple. Homers was his thing this year, but he barely did anything. Shohei just helped the team with pitching.
Yeah, I think Verlander he benefits from the fact that there weren't that many other great starters in the American League this year. Now, it's a different case in the National League. There were a lot of good starters, and the winner was, with every first-place vote, was Sandy Alcantara, which
I don't think that's.
Alcantara, which he is amazing. Every time he pitched against our team, the Nationals, he crushed us. And I'm watching him. I understand why people think he's the best. But let's take a look at this list here.
There's
it's got a lot of good people.
Miami fans voting for him. He should have not been even. He should have been like top 10, even maybe even top 5. But I don't think he should be first. I would give it to Aaron Nola.
Let's look at the list and see what we'd say. So we've got Alcantara number 1, Max Fried number 2, Julio Urias from the Dodgers number 3, Aaron Nola 4, Zach Gallen from our Diamondbacks. We live in Arizona. He's great. He's number 5. Carlos Rodon from San Francisco 6. Corbin Burns from Milwaukee, the winner last year, number 7, or was he winner 2 years ago? Yu Darvish number 8, Edwin Diaz, a reliever, number 9, and Kyle Wright from Atlanta number 10. Now I think the one thing I think really bad here is Darvish is way too low.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Darvish is better than Carlos Rodon and Burns, and he's way better than Gallen.
Yeah,
he should have been top 5.
Yeah, I mean I saw a stat this year that he had the most quality starts of any pitcher in the league, and I think he's just totally underrated. I mean he's just consistently great.
Yeah.
I also think Urias should have gotten more consideration to win it. I think he had a great year,
Yeah.
and he gets overshadowed because he's on a team with Kershaw and Buehler. But
Yeah, because he's a reliever, right?
no, he's a starter.
Oh, he is?
Yeah,
But
he was a
he's-
reliever for a little while in their
Yeah.
championship run in 2020.
Yeah, he was good, but the thing is that you can't be good when you can't be that good when you're next to two people that are just amazing.
Yeah.
And next to a whole bullpen of like the starters and relievers are just amazing, like Dustin May, Clayton Kershaw, all those guys. You can't get that high. But Dodgers fans did go crazy with him.
Yeah. So I mean, I think personally I can understand Alcantara, but I don't know who I would have given this to. Nola's a good pick.
Urias. I would have given it to him.
Yeah.
I don't like Sandy Alcantara. I just didn't watch him at all. The thing is, I would have gave it to Urias, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a fair pick for sure. Okay, what other awards can we look at? They've got Rookie of the Year, so let's go with.
This is not even a question. This is correct. This is so correct.
So this is the American League Rookie of the Year. Let's see who won this one. Number one with 29 of the 31st place votes was
Julio Rodriguez.
That's
not
right.
not a surprise at all.
followed by Adley Rutschman of the Orioles, Stephen Kwan of the Guardians, Bobby Witt Jr. of the Royals, Jeremy Pena, who had a great World Series, of the Astros, and George Kirby also of Seattle. I don't think this is even a contest. I mean, Rutschman didn't even come up until the middle of the year. He had a really good year once he came up, but Rodriguez was just dominant.
I mean, he almost won the home run derby.
Yep, as a rookie.
Yeah, as a rookie, which is insane. He had so many home runs. Soto pretty much beat him good. But Bobby Witt Jr., I feel like he had a pretty good year, too. He didn't get that much notice on Kansas City because Kansas City's a small team like Nationals, and they have better players like Salvador and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think he got penalized a little bit by people expected him to be great, and he wasn't great. He was really good, but I don't think he quite lived up to expectations, and that can hurt you sometimes.
He lived up. People thought he was going to be the next Trey Turner, which he is fast.
Right, and he's got a chance to be that eventually, but not.
Yeah, but he's not
this
yet.
year.
Not in the next 2 years, but in the next 3 years, I would say, or like 3 years, I would say he could be it.
Yeah.
I would say you could get close. He could be like the young version of Turner on the Nationals.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we have no doubt that Rodriguez deserved this completely. Now in the National League, it was a little closer. It was won by Michael Harris, too, the center fielder for the Braves.
I feel like he should have got it,
And Spencer Strider, the pitcher for the
O'Neal
Braves,
Cruz
came
was
close.
so low.
So let's go through the list. Michael Harris, number 1. Spencer Strider, 2. Brendan Donovan of the Cardinals, who I'm not familiar with, number 3. Jake McCarthy of the Diamondbacks, number 4, which is surprising. Alexis Diaz from the Reds and Nick Lodolo from the Reds both come in at number 5 and 6. And then O'Neal Cruz at the bottom for some reason, which
I don't know why.
Yeah, he had a really good year. I mean, I guess he didn't come up till relatively late, but
And the other thing is that he hit a lot of homers. Like, he hit a homer in his first game, I think. He did good on Pittsburgh. The thing is that he just doesn't get realized as much as other teams.
the thing that is amazing to me is that the Braves lost Acuna for most of the year, and they come up with a guy to replace him who gets Rookie of the Year. I mean, they somehow get all the good players
like
on that
Jeremy
team.
Pena, too. He did the same thing pretty
Yeah,
much.
he came up for Korea on the Astros. That's for both those teams. They lose big players, and they can replace them with new guys who are awesome, which is really crazy. But yeah, I think giving Harris the award here makes sense. I mean, he definitely had a good year. So let's see. Are there any other awards we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about Manager of the Year?
Let's talk about Manager of the Year.
Okay.
So
let's see.
actually, let's not. I mean, the thing is, Manager of the Year awards, they're just for the team, and Mets and Buck Showalter won it in the National. American Terry Francona
of the Guardians, yeah. Which those are both fine picks. I probably would have gone with the Orioles manager, Brandon Hyde, just because.
I would have gone with Dave Roberts.
Dave Roberts, yeah, he
had
came
a
in
good
second.
team. He came in second for National
Yeah.
League. He was good.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that they don't count the playoffs in this. I understand why they don't do that for players, but I feel like maybe the playoffs should matter here, because if you were going to count the playoffs, you'd have to give Rob Thompson from the Phillies a bigger shot, because he really carried them to the World Series. So that was a big surprise. And Dusty, too. I mean, how can you not consider Dusty one of the top contenders? I mean,
I think he should have been number 1.
Yeah.
After the championship, he should have been number 1. That's his first championship of his career, and he did amazing.
Yeah. But I mean, these were tough. There are a lot of good teams here, and how it's hard to pick manager because a lot of times people think it's the guy who made the team better, greater than they were last year. And Dusty had a good team last year too. They went to the World Series as well, so maybe he doesn't get enough credit for being so consistently great. But I mean, Francona and Showalter are fine. They had good teams, but I probably would have gone with Dusty and either Dave Roberts or Rob Thompson in the National League. So that covers most of it. We could tell you the Gold Gloves and Silver Sluggers, but there's so many of those. Yeah. It's sort of hard to parse them all out. There weren't really many surprising things in there, although Soto and Bell both got Silver Slugger awards, which I was surprised at, but I'm glad. And Turner and Betts, Realmuto, Goldschmidt, McNeil, Schwarber, Brandon Drury, those are all good players. In the American League, we had Kirk, Lowe, Altuve, Ramirez, Bogarts, Judge, Rodriguez, Trout, Alvarez. I mean, those are good players. You could make a great team out of those guys. Oh, one other thing. Let's go with Comeback Player of the Year. Let's see.
And Verlander?
Yeah, and I don't think they have overall. Oh, they do have overall voting for this. So let's see. So in American League, it was Verlander. The guy that won the Cy Young was also the Comeback Player of the Year. Other people who got votes were Mike Trout, Matt Carpenter, and Alex Bregman. I don't know about Alex Bregman. Was he that bad last year? But the really amazing comeback player of the year, which is incredible to win it in your final season when you're retiring, is Albert Pujols in the National League.
700th home run.
Yeah.
That's the thing about him that's been going so viral and all that stuff. But, you have to put him there. I mean, he's old and he did that. I mean, he's like 41 or something.
Yeah, and I mean, just the end of his season, when he was getting close to 700, he just started hitting like he used to when he was younger. It was crazy. So other people who got votes were Ronald Acuna, Mark Appel, Dave Robertson, Brandon Drury, Nick Martinez, and Ryan Helsey. All good players, but you can't possibly take this from Albert Pujols. That's one of the most amazing final seasons anybody's ever had in terms of being that old and coming back to play that well. And yeah, I mean, he's an all-timer. He's the third. I think that this puts him in third or fourth place all-time in home runs, which is, considering how long baseball's been around, that's a pretty incredible place to be in. So I think those are two good picks. And we see Ohtani got the Outstanding DH award, which makes sense.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the All-Star Game MVP went to Giancarlo Stanton because he hit a big homer there. Paul Goldschmidt was named the winner of the Heart and Hustle Award, which I don't know what that is exactly. And the players voted for Aaron Judge as the Outstanding Player of the Year.
Players' Choice Award.
Yeah. And Justin Turner got the Roberto Clemente Award for his work outside of baseball, helping people and stuff. And that's a really pretty good award season, I think. I think the strongest award of all of them was probably
the Rookie of the Year. I would say
Julio getting the Rookie of the Year.
Julio.
Yeah, that one was the one that's the least close. There's no real question that he should have gotten that one. Every other one you could make a case for somebody else winning, but Julio was definitely far and above all the other rookies in the American League. So this has been another episode of the Covering the Bag podcast, and I hope you enjoyed it. And send us, comment or send us your questions or comments about who you think should have won these awards, and maybe who you think will win them next year. Maybe we'll do an episode where we predict next year.
Maybe even comment what video we could do. We come up with video ideas every weekend and try to make them on the week. So next video we're thinking about doing top 50 25 plays and reviewing them and watching them. And we'll see you, I guess, next time. Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.